Cheers! Welcome to my channel. This is a tarot oracle reading about random shift. I have no idea what's going to come up. Sometimes it can be very random. Having said that, this is a general or a collective reading. So take what works for you and just leave the rest. Also, this is a timely reading. So if you're watching it at this time, it's the perfect time for you. Just if it's been a while since I posted this, what was going on back then, that may give you further clarity as to what's going on now. So we have some conflict here. This conflict card is talking about, inner conflict creating outer conflict or vice versa. And so we have someone here who is, this is cutthroat energy. Even look at the rips in the sky, the clouds are even ripped. And this is talking about, this person is, he'll risk everything to have what he wants. Sometimes it may be worth it, I guess, and sometimes it may not. So this is talking about outer conflict and having to protect yourself from it. People might, the stakes are high. That's the energy I'm getting. This also can talk about inner conflict. And inner conflict is basically when you're having a board meeting with yourself to make a decision and you don't want to have to do that. So this is talking about three different versions of you, representing your mind. The swords represent your mental intelligence, your thoughts. Hi, sweetheart. And also your discipline of your mind. This energy is these are double-edged swords, so they represent, one edge is logic and the other end is your intuitive ability. This the three people here, if it's inner conflict, represent your subconscious mind, which is formed by the time you're 6 generally. And if you think about it, how much do you remember from when you were a baby or your earlier years before kindergarten? A lot of people don't remember much at all. So at that time, though, we are, especially babies, you think about how much they learn in the first year. They're like sponges and they just suck in their environment, and it's heavily imprinted on us when we're a baby. And then as we're in those younger years, it's the thoughts of the people who are in charge of our care and their thoughts and their values and how they approach life. So it's very heavily imprinted on us. And when we face conflict and the emotions, we're triggered, we tend to rely on that mind, but really when you think about it, you don't remember much of it, so it's really the thoughts of other people. So it's not the most reliable. And we also have our unconscious mind, which is the spiritual needs. And, a lot of people will agree, yes, I'm a soul, or I'm a human being with a soul. But from the soul's perspective, you're a soul traveling in a human body, and that's your vehicle for getting around Earth. And if the needs of the soul are not being met, then it will get in a huge argument with the subconscious mind and the conscious mind. And the conscious mind, he has a handle on that. That's talking about you have memory of what you've done. Like if you, this morning I got up and I cleaned house for 3 hours and now it's clean. And you're like, I remember doing that, and I could tell you all about it if you really want to hear that type of energy. I apologize if there's noise in the background. I don't know how good my noise clearing mic is. I have a heavy construction and they were quiet, so I thought I could sneak a random reading, but it's that kind of, we're under construction here. All right, we have the 8 of Cups. So the cups in tarot represent love, and quite often romantic love. This is, there's only 10 cups in tarot, and this is representing someone who's walking away after putting in an effort of 8 cups. So this could be 8 years, it's a lot of effort and walking away. And this is like, I am done, 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 done. And we also have the full moon and the new moon in the background, and that can represent eclipse energy. So if there's been an eclipse around the time that you're watching this, for about 6 months after, we will feel the effects of that sometimes. This is someone who is walking away from a situation with someone they love. It could be romantic love. This could represent family, friends. It also could represent an energy of walking away from a career that you love, something you love to do or something you love to be, or maybe walking away from a specific company or a group of people that you worked with, that type of energy. And funnily enough, I had a really weird dream last night, and it was, it's starting to come back to me now as I go throughout the day. But I was like, oh, I'm just going to sleep for another 20 minutes. I always wake up, and I woke up like 5 hours later. I usually wake up very early in the morning, and it was almost noon. And I just felt like in such a weird space. And when I did the reading, right after that, the Earth angels and the galactic angels that come down to Earth to improve the planet are on strike. And I didn't know they had a union. So I was like, okay, maybe this is talking about them. They're done. They're walking away. We need better working conditions. It's got to be a different world. So this is interesting because the World card represents the end of a cycle. And I feel like it's kind of saying, in the major arcana we go through, we start at the 0 point as the Fool. We go through our journey, and when this card shows up, it's like we've done everything we can do. We're, this is over. This cycle is over. A new cycle has to begin. And so this energy, I feel like it's weird, but I didn't know that Earth angels and galactic angels had a union. But they're on strike now. And I'm getting they're still on strike. So yeah, it'll be a bit different world. So there's a lot more, it's this 7 of Cups is an interesting card because what it's talking about is these are all gifts, but they're very different. There's 7 different gifts here. There's beauty, and then there's this, it looks like psychedelic energy. This could represent snake energy, however you interpret that. Laurels for success, having a beautiful world, a beautiful home. All these different gifts. And does this represent the home for the soul, basically, as well? And so this, it's like you're a black hole and you're sucking in all these opportunities. They're all available to you. And but you have to put your own spin on it. And I feel like this, the reason why the angels are on strike is because they see people having all these opportunities. Like they could take it whichever direction they want to take it, put their own spin on it, turn something really beautiful out of this, Quite often these cups will show up as challenges because possibilities are held in challenges. And the more challenging, the more beautiful the possibility. And I just feel like it's like people are choosing these cups, and then they're just choosing to make, in some cases, the ugliest energy out of it. And it was really weird because, there's a lot of talk about, going to the moon, and now we're pushing to go to Mars. But if you look at Mars, it's a pretty desolate place. Why would you want to leave Earth to go to Mars? I just have never understood that. If you look at pictures of Mars, it looks like, bleak. And the world is such a beautiful place. So I don't know. Someone will have to explain that to me one day. This energy here is talking about a lot of pentacle energy coming through. So a better lifestyle. And this is talking about pre-Empress energy. So in the minor arcana, there's 4 queens, and the Empress is in the major arcana. And she represents like a powerful manifester. And as you can see, she's creating a beautiful garden here for sure. And she embodies all the qualities of the 4 queens. So this is saying that this card, this is the 9 of Pentacles, is saying that you've almost reached like the Empress energy because of everything you've been through and the decisions that you've made. And that a whole new world is coming your way. So you could choose to take any of these cups at any time and turn them into a beautiful garden if that's your choice. Or you could turn this into something very ugly if that's your choice. And Nikola Tesla would always talk about the beauty of the 369. And this is, she has 3 coins behind her. She has 6 here. She's got her hand on, adding up to 9. And I feel like this is talking about a ratio. He would always say, like, if you knew the beauty of the 3, 6, 9, you would have the key to the universe. And that's what this falcon represents. It's about having the foresight to be able to take a look at what's happening. And this energy here, she always keeps 6 pentacles in this ratio. So 2/3 to make sure that she has enough to run her home, her businesses, make her payments, you know, some extra in case there's an emergency, an appliance breaks down, that type of energy. These 3, maybe one of them is to invest in more risky investments, that if she loses, she still has her hand on this. And if she wins, it just is going to add more for her to be able to give to charity, etc. That's what this pentacle is for. And perhaps she's saving up to go on a vacation with her children or whatever, her family. And that's what, you know, the 3rd pentacle, whatever, you know, it is that you want. And so this is talking about, why not focus on making the world a better place? That's the energy that she's in. And then we have the King of Cups. So the King of Cups is sitting out in the middle of all this chaos, but he is the most emotionally available. He's very stable in his emotions. He's learned to control his emotions, to discipline his mind and control his emotions, plug into his heart. And that's this energy, like when you start disciplining your mind through meditation and prayer, you are able to plug into your heart, because it's more about feeling what you want. And he knows he wants to offer this cup of love. Now this could be your energy, or the king might be interested in offering a cup of love to you. If this is your energy, clearly this is not the king. You're not in the King of Cups energy, you're in this energy. And if you're in the King of Cups energy, maybe you're wanting to offer it to this person. And the thing is, to become an Empress in Tarot, it's like a badge of honor for having gone through a lot of hardship and then choosing to move forward in a really strong way to the best of your ability. So, and all this water here that's rough, this is talking about, you know, volatile emotion and chaotic energy. And the king is like totally calm in that energy, because he has learned how to discipline his mind, and this allows him to generally get what he wants, because he recognizes that timing matters. And so he knows if he steps forward when this person's in this energy, they're unlikely to receive his offer. But now that they're in this energy, now he's like, okay, here we go. This could also represent someone that was maybe interested in this energy, but was waiting for them to work it out on their own to see if they could come up to this energy. And then we have the 9 of Cups. So the 9 of Cups is representing someone, I mean, they're on a stage, so this could represent your energy or the King of Cups. And this is talking about someone that's in the public image, or a public, you know, a public figure. They're on a stage here and they're highly favored. Everybody can see they're highly favored, and they have 9 cups here, but they're missing that one last cup that the king is holding, I feel. This could be your energy, because maybe you walked away to gather these other 2 cups, you know, and then you would have 10 on your own, walking away from the situation you're in and walking into your pre-Empress energy. And so this is saying you might be feeling really exhausted right now. A lot of people are feeling that way, just tired. Like it's even the angels are like tired of the same old shift. We want better working conditions, that type of energy. And so this is, you know, in body language, if you sit like this with your feet turned out, you're leaking both your masculine and your feminine energy. And it talks about, you know, just not having the focus that you need to have. Whereas in the upper body here, he's actually making an infinity symbol with his arms here. He reminds me of Genie. So this is someone who's very successful and is favored to win for sure, to have this, to have these cups. Having said that, we don't know, are those cups behind him in the past? Are they presently above his head, or are they in the future? That you would have to determine for yourself. And so this energy is saying this is someone who's highly successful, could be a public figure, and they want that one last cup, and they feel like when they offer it, and I feel like it's now this pre-Empress energy, because the king is right on this energy. And I feel like he wants to offer this to this energy because she understands how to make something beautiful out of a gift rather than make it ugly. And then we have the Queen of Wands energy. So the Queen of Wands is talking about someone who's a natural beauty, considered sexy, very happy. She has an optimistic nature because she is, you know, she follows the sun. That's what the sunflowers do. She is very good. This veil behind her represents the physical and the spiritual realm. And she is very good at using her intuition and her logic to come to creative solutions. So she has this little black cat here, and a lot of people won't have a black cat because they have a superstition about it being, you know, bad luck. But she's like not worried at all. She loves her little black cat. And she just, she's not worried about superstition. She knows if there's something happens, she'll be able to find a creative solution. She represents the element of fire, and the wood wand here, it feeds fire. And this is talking about taking passionate action. And also, this is from a tree, so it's talking about the deep roots of the ancestors, and the branches, these offshoots, represent the descendants, which is the same energy for this. This is talking about generational wealth, a legacy that you can pass down to your children and your children's children. And it's not about money. You could have all the money in the world, but if you don't have the lifestyle that you want, you're going to feel empty in the world. And so this is talking, now she doesn't need protection from fire. She sets the tone and she commands it. This could be the energy of this pre-Empress energy now that she's getting back into her, you know, once she's left in it, she's back into this manifesting energy. Then we have the Hermit. So yes, after a dark night of the soul, moving forward. And so this is representing someone who, the Hermits had a dark night of the soul. Something has caused them to have to walk away from something they loved, someone they loved, whatever this is, and they've had to start over again in a different way. And this is what's been happening since, coming back into their own. So it's talking about this energy moving forward now. The Hermit climbs a mountain and he sits up there and he isolates himself until the light in his lantern becomes full of the energy of the North Star, and he's aware of which direction it is to go in, and he can tell because his rod now, his staff is golden. So he comes down from the mountain and he takes action again. And we don't know how long that he sits up on the mountain. It can be like hours, it could be days, it could be years, but he doesn't come down until he figures out what his action is going to be. And then we have the Queen of Swords. So the Queen of Swords energy is talking about the learning discernment. She's been there, she's done that, she has the t-shirt. She has zero desire to put up with any bullshit, to repeat the process. She has her sword, in her right hand she has a sword, and if you come into her, she's willing to, with her left hand, to receive. But if you come into her incorrect, off with your head. She has no desire to put up with bullshit. She's the clouds are clear now, and she has clarity as to which way she wants to go, what she will put up with, what she won't put up with. And that feels like this energy again down here, where, you know, even if an earth angel and galactic angels, the stars, get so fed up that they go on strike, we know we're all in trouble. It's time to make a change. That's the energy coming in. And I do feel that this might be talking about this can be representing some of the qualities of the Queen energy, that, you know, the four queens from the minor arcana that are coming out, and why she's becoming close to this pre-Empress energy. And then we have the Page of Cups. So the Page of Cups is representing an energy of some information or communication coming in. I feel that the King of Cups is wanting to say, hey, I would love to take you out for supper tonight. It's not like a huge offer. He understands that he has to take it slow. He wants to offer her a cup of marriage, of commitment, because he feels that this is his Empress. But he also understands that, because he's very emotionally intelligent, that let's start slow, take our time, make sure, let's not rush in, that type of energy. So the Page of Cups, the pages would work for the King and Queen when they were very young. And so this is talking about feeling young again. This king is really feeling a lot of love here. And he's willing to be patient because he understands. And so this is talking about someone young working for the king and queen, and they would come from the surrounding families quite often that were upper class, and this would give them, this was a huge coup for them to work in the royal courts. You can imagine, to be chosen to do that. They would start very young, around 7 to 14. You have to remember, back in those days, the lifespan was like only half of what it is now. And when they got older, they might even end up being, knighted, for knighthood. So this is talking about communication coming through. Sometimes in the old days, this would always be a male, but now it could be a female. All of the cards in tarot are archetypes. They're not gender specific. They represent masculine and feminine energy. So he's very focused on this cup and the fish in it. He knows there's plenty of fish in the sea, but this is the one he's focused on. And so this energy is talking about, maybe it's online dating, that type of energy. Maybe it's a phone call, a text message. It doesn't have to be in person. It could be an email, something that comes in, the mail, maybe a card, an invitation, something like that. Maybe you're on social media, someone messages you, or you see an event, and then you go to that event, and then you meet in person. That type of energy. So this is, this is like the first step of moving towards a committed relationship. From the bottom to the top and back down on the pyramid here, we have walking away from something you really love, to get back into your natural happy-go-lucky energy after a dark night of the soul and isolation. This can sometimes be imposed upon you, and sometimes it can be your choice. Sometimes it's a matter of both. And someone has their eye on you, and that would be this king. He understands that you've been through a lot, and you're not willing to put up with bullshit, and you're not going to rush into anything. So he's willing to take it slow. He sees you as his Empress. All right, that's the energy. That was pretty clear, but I will clarify it for those of you who want clarification. If you've enjoyed this reading up to this point, give it a... Well, I'm having trouble speaking today. If you've enjoyed this reading up to this point, give it a like and comment, and consider subscribing. If you resonate, I would be honored if you did so. Now I'm going to clarify this with my oracle. So what do we have? The underlying energy from the bottom of the deck is Aries energy. All right, so this is an oracle that I started back in 2007, and I'm an artist. In 2020 I completed all 64 paintings. It's from the Intergalactic Federation of Light, and I am bringing it out now, but I do have a website, talesfromthevector.com, and so I'm gathering information for the booklet that goes with it. These numbers represent the paintings as they're listed in the gallery on my website. In the description box below, I will put them in the order. These represent the numbers of the paintings in the gallery, and you can check it out. I'll put them in the order they appear here, and the information will be below in the description for this video. Aries energy. This is about starting a brand new again, like this whole new world energy here, this new cycle. So, you know, and talking also, I feel that learning this to be able to plug into your heart with a disciplined mind is huge. It actually makes it so that you're in a position where, you know, you can feel with your heart and you can discipline your mind. Okay, this is what we're doing. You don't have to have a board meeting with yourself. It's a new way of looking at things. And also it's talking about perhaps your subconscious mind was ruling over you, and you need to, it's a really good energy to have your, there's a lot of good information in your subconscious mind, but you need to also consider your unconscious and conscious mind as well. And then we have the shooting star energy, and this is about having a really good attitude when you walked away, because this is hard to do if there's someone or something that you really love. And we have this base chakra. It's from the energy of the base chakra, and that's where this energy, where I was picking up this leak of energy, like it's exhausting if you get into an energy where you're not focused on the goal. Otherworldly desire, this card has been coming up a lot. So this is worldly and otherworldly desires. It's a karmic space that we can fall into. Basically, a lot of people think karma is punishment, but it's actually cause and effect. And this is talking about, you know, you can have, you know, be too centered on your material needs and ignore your unconscious mind, and then it's going to get really loud and say, what about me? And then you can also be too focused on your unconscious mind, your spiritual needs, and say, I don't need any material goods. I'm going to go to Mars and live there instead of on planet Earth. That's the kind of energy. And so it's giving yourself total permission to enjoy your journey here and enjoy the beauty of the Earth. If you compare the two planets, one's more beautiful than the other. So this is talking about you know, being so focused on maybe your spiritual needs or other needs that you're not paying attention to your subconscious and conscious mind, which is what you want on Earth here right now, and thinking you have to go to another planet to get it. There's nothing wrong with going to another planet for, you know, travel comparison, but I think if you compare the two, you'll notice one's more beautiful than the other. Aquarius energy is talking about you know, Uranus, and Uranus has moved, as I'm doing this reading, Uranus has moved into, for the next 7 or 8 years, has moved into Gemini energy. And in that energy, it's about the truth coming out. So we can expect to see a lot of truth coming out for the next 7 or 8 years. As you're reading this, you know, it's just happened. So for the next 8 years, basically, if you're watching this, it's from the time that I posted it, expect the truth to come out. Expect it to come out every day in every which way. That's, you know, and this is, I want to point out that, you know, when the horoscope signs come out, I'm not talking about individual people. I'm talking about what can we learn from the energy of each of these horoscope signs. They, if you ever get your birth chart done, you have them all or most of them in your chart, and so we can learn from them. Every sign has its strengths and weaknesses. So this is about experimenting, which is that energy of wanting to travel to another planet. I totally get that. I have Sagittarius energy, so I love travel, and I could see like going somewhere to visit. But to hang your hopes on going to another planet when we already live on such a beautiful one, it seems to me like it would be starting over in a very desolate place compared to all the beauty we're surrounded. How about we just clean this place up? That type of energy. And then we have the Hermit. So the Hermit is here twice. It's saying, basically, I feel like it's saying, take a look at what do you really love? Like what is it that's missing on planet Earth here that we have to make a mess of it? Can we just all get together and agree, wow, this is a beautiful place, why don't we improve it instead of wrecking it? That type of energy. Justice. That would be, you know, again, we're talking about karma here, and You know, you can have direct karma from your actions that you take or you don't take. And I did this or I didn't do this. I saw this happening. I didn't speak up. I could have prevented some suffering, but I let it happen. Actually, because maybe it benefited me in some way. That's direct karma. Indirect karma, it could be your ancestors, and even sometimes your descendants. It can be people you're associated with. People, places and things that you're associated with that cause suffering to other people. And then we also have the karmic spaces, which anyone can fall into. We're human, we're going to. If you, I just feel like this is saying, why not be on a foolhardy journey? When you start your journey, you can, if you look at the beauty of Earth and everything that's been created here, really, it's in perfect order if we just don't make it disorderly. And so why can't we just make that decision collectively and then we could anticipate a strong future and just go to Mars to see what it's like, kind of energy. So this is talking about being on a foolhardy journey on planet Earth instead of being on a journey of selfishness and causing spiritual and physical distress to others. All right, that's the energy coming in. It's been kind of a different energy for sure. I didn't know that angels could go on strike, but apparently they have a union as well. All right, I do hope you've enjoyed the energy of this reading. Please give it a like and comment if you have. Consider subscribing if you resonate. I'll be back with another random reading at some point here. Bye for now. Gotta wake you up, little kitty. Oh.